If you are dieting hard during the week, you are eating super clean, maybe you're tracking your calories, you're saying no to your co-worker when they're asking you if you want a biscuit during the day, maybe you're even going to the gym as well, you may be going to a few classes, you may be lifting a few weights in the gym, and you're still not seeing fat loss results, this video is for you. Because the truth is, you don't need more willpower, you're working hard enough and you're putting in enough effort. So we know them things aren't the problem for you right now. The problem for you right now is you're just focusing on the wrong things. Most men and women that I speak to that want to get in shape, it's not that their effort is the problem. They've got enough willpower, they're putting in enough effort, they're staying on track when they know they need to be. They're just not applying the right things, and that's why they've stayed stuck for years. In this video, I'm going to talk you through exactly what works if you want to drop body fat and get lean, so you know what to focus on and what not to focus on. And these exact points that I'm about to go through today are the points that I've used to drop nearly 10 kilograms in 10 weeks. And that's a kilogram of loss every single week, which I don't know about you, but that's pretty fucking good. If you are new to the channel, I'm Jack Rivers and I own a coaching program called Coach by Jack Rivers. And we help men and women not just lose weight, but we help them achieve a lean, sculpted body by focusing on getting strong, getting lean and achieving that aesthetic look. And just before we head into these points I'm going to go through with you today, if you want a more of a hands-on program where I show you exactly what to do in the gym with your nutrition, give you example meal plans, example workout programs, first link in the description is a link to our free rapid fat loss guide where I'm going to show you the exact roadmap that my clients and me use to get to 15% body fat in the simplest and most effective way. So once you've watched this video, if you want a bit more of a hands-on program, first link in the description. So the first point I would like to go through with you today is how to actually lose weight and why most people slip up. You see, during the week, you're absolutely fine with your diet. You can eat relatively clean, you can stick to your meal plan if you've got one, or you stick to your calorie tracking or whatever you were doing for your nutrition at the moment. You maybe even go to the gym a few times, but then as soon as Friday rolls around, you turn into a snack eating, wine craving monster, and you're raiding the cupboards at home and you say fuck it every time that you're presented with a little bit of a snack or your partner asks you for a takeout, and you undo all the hard work that you've been putting in during the week. And a big reason why this happens is because you lack clarity and you lack confidence that what you were doing is actually going to work. You see, us as humans, we only apply effort to things and stay consistent with things when we have 100% clarity with what we're doing is actually going to work. And for you sitting here right now, you kind of know what calories you should be aiming for and you kind of know what you should be doing in the gym, but that's not going to cut it. So as soon as you were presented with a slight hiccup, a slight inconvenience, a slight roadblock on your fat loss journey, you hit that psychological fuck it button and you say, that's it, I'll start again on Monday. So fat loss works by putting you in a calorie deficit. And there's a reason why I'm smiling saying that is because you probably hear hundreds of coaches and PTs on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, telling you to just eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight. It's kind of vague advice. And I'm like, yeah, cheers for the great advice, mate. Like we all know this by now, but it's kind of like telling a homeless person, just go to work. It's not as easy as that. All these different types of diets, whether it's fasting, whether it's calorie tracking, meal plans, keto, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, whatever, all they do is put the person, you, trying to lose weight, in a calorie deficit, in a deficit of energy, so your body has no other option but to adapt and eat fat stores to survive. So just going from that, your goal with your nutrition is not to copy someone else. It's not to do calorie tracking because your friend's doing it. It's not to do keto because your colleague's doing it. It's to find something that works for you. If calorie tracking works for you, go with calorie tracking. If having a set meal plan works for you, go with that, or have a bit of a hybrid approach. It doesn't really matter. As long as you are putting yourself in at least a 10% calorie deficit each day, you were going to see body fat dropping over time. The reason you've not seen any progress on your own is because you just can't stick to it for long enough to see the fat come off. All you need to do is find a method of dieting that puts you in a calorie deficit and that you can sustain for long enough to actually get to your goal weight. Another area people go wrong is the trying to burn fat in the gym. This one does my fucking tits in, right? Because you see them people in the gym that are absolutely smashing the cardio in. They're on the treadmill, they're on the cross trainer, on the Stairmaster. They're in the gym in a bid to try and burn as many calories as possible. And the gym shouldn't be a time for you to focus on the fat burning side of things. If you are following your calorie deficit, if you are drinking enough water, if you are trying to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, if you are doing, some general activity, trying to walk more, that is enough to elicit fat loss. The gym is the limited time in your week which you should be focusing on other areas of your transformation, because we know if we build muscle and we commit to a proper weight training program, building muscle long-term increases our metabolism. That's why some people who have a lot of muscle mass can have more flexibility with their nutrition, because their body is like a calorie burning machine. It's burning a lot more calories than you, who's got very little muscle mass. So my biggest piece of advice would be, for the limited time you've got available in your week to actually go to the gym, spend it trying to build muscle. You need to be mainly sticking to weight training. 5 to 7 exercises per session, 2 to 3 sets per exercise. That is all you need to do right now. For a lot of you, you need to go through a proper fat loss phase first, and you don't really need to have an amazing idea of exactly what you need to do in the gym to create fat loss. The only time you would really need to understand movement patterns and sets and how to train with weights properly is when you're looking to reverse diet and go into a muscle building phase. But for most of you need to lose the body fat first, so you are going to react and get along better with just a very basic, simple weight training program. Also, we know that with your goals at the moment, you don't want to just lose body fat. You don't want to go from how you were built now. You've got a little bit more cushion than you want. You're shaped like a bit of a rectangle. You've got maybe narrow shoulders, no glute muscles, wide waist. You don't want to go from that to being stick thin. Nobody wants that look. What you want to do is go from where you're at now to build a lean, aesthetic body. And that's why I'm a massive advocate of strength training, because if you were following that whilst you're dieting down, you're going to start to build a lean, toned, athletic physique. I'm talking, if you want to grow your glutes, you can focus on that. You're going to build big shoulders, big arms, if that's what you want to focus on. And both of them create the illusion that you've got a smaller waist. So not only are you dropping body fat and getting in better shape, you're really starting to chisel away at the body that you want. This is exactly what my client Shawnee did. Shawnee had a past of going to the gym and just doing cardio, or going to gimmicky exercise classes in a bid to try and burn as many calories as she can. And she never got the results that she wanted. And she made more progress with me in 6 months than she did 6 years prior. And this is her transformation here. So if you want to find out a bit more information about how we can do that for you, again, that'll be in the description if you want to check out how our coaching program works. The next point is probably the most underrated tool when it comes to fat loss. It's very fucking simple. You probably heard loads of coaches rapping on about it, but to be honest with you, it is one of the most underrated tools for fat loss. And that is having a high activity levels throughout the day, i.e. doing some more fucking steps. I'm not here to give you a perfect amount of steps to hit each day, because everybody's circumstances are different. A lot of you will be working desk jobs. A lot of you will have busy evenings after work looking after the kids. So for me to sit here and say, I want you to do 15,000 steps each day and it's a must, is not going to be realistic for you. So what me and my clients do is, what I look at their data from their fitness watch or their health app on their iPhone, and I want to get a number for their average steps for the past 1 to 2 weeks before joining the program. So let's say they go onto the health app and their average steps each day was 4,000 steps. That is pretty low and that is pretty shit. But what we do is we build from that. I say, right, what we'll do is I want you to hit that and another 2,000 each day. So your new step goal each day is 6,000, and that's all I want them to stick to for now. And what we do as well as this is, I don't want them to be aiming for that target every single day, because as you probably know, some days are busier than others, whether it's you have to stay back at work, parents' evening, social weekends. It's a bit unrealistic for me to say you have to hit this step goal every single day. So what we do to get around this is we just see their step goal as a weekly target instead of a daily target. Automatically, this takes so much pressure off the client, because they don't have unneeded pressure to hit a certain number of steps every single day. If they have to stay late back at work and they don't manage to hit their step target for the day, that's absolutely fine. They can catch up at some point during the week. And a big reason why I would favor steps over cardio is because it's low impact. Anybody can do it. It's accessible. It doesn't increase your hunger, whereas if you do high intensity cardio, it can actually make you a little bit hungry after, because your appetite upregulates. So steps is just a super accessible thing to do that pretty much nobody has any excuse why they can't do it. The next point is build a repeatable meal structure. This is something that's massively helped me specifically, because I'm a very busy fucking guy. I own a gym. I run an online coaching business. I've got social plans. I've got a missus. There's all these things that I've got going on in my life, right? And I don't have time to think of new ideas, to make new meal ideas every fucking day. It's too time consuming. I'm not going to stick to it. So what I'd done before I started this fat loss phase is I drafted together about 3 to 4 options for my 3 meals a day, and I made sure that they all accounted for the calorie target that I was hitting. So I know that I don't necessarily need to track my calories each day. As long as I stick to them set meals, I know I'm going to be putting my body in a calorie deficit. For a lot of you watching this video, you'll be the same as me. Busy job, busy social life. You might have kids and you'll have a house to run, right? You don't have time to think of different meals each day. You maybe don't have time to even track your calories each day. So what I want you to do is build kind of a little bit of a meal plan for yourself and have certain meals in your rotation. Make sure you're writing down, whether it's pen and paper on your notes app. Build these meals before you want to start dropping body fat, because trust me, life will get busy and there'll be one day where you can't be asked. Previous you will have just threw the towel in then. But if you've got these meals that are quick, easy to put together, and you know how to cook them in a matter of minutes, you're going to stick to this. A lot of people fuck up on this point, right? Because it's boring to do and it can be a little bit demotivating, because when it comes to tracking progress, people become just very fixated on that number on the scales. They'll probably only track the scale weight once a week and they sit there scrambling and thinking, why isn't this weight coming down? But they're just not tracking their progress properly. They're following the plan, they're probably making progress, but because they're not tracking their progress properly, they don't actually know what to expect. And that leads to them thinking they're not making progress, so they don't stick to it. They give up every Friday, start again every Monday, and they're in that vicious cycle again. So here's what I want you to do, right? I want you to take measurements, take starting progress photos in shorts, if you're a lad, if you're a woman, a sports brand of shorts, that's fine. Take them against the painted wall, clear background. Every 4 weeks, I want you to take measurements of your waist, arms and thigh and take them exact progress photos. And every 4 weeks, I want you to compare them. And trust me, you will be seeing change. In terms of scale weight, what I want you to do is track your weight every single day. That's not going to come down every single day. I wish it did. I'd have a lot of happy clients if that's the case. But unfortunately, it's going to go up and down, especially in your first couple of weeks if you go into the gym, because that increases inflammation in the body, which brings on more water weight. But your scale weight will go up and down throughout the week. But what I want you to do, which is the key part of this, is you'll track your weight Monday to Sunday, and then every Sunday I want you to calculate an average for week 1, 2, 3, and so on. As long as them averages are dropping by 0.7 to 1.2% of your body weight each week, you are on track. You do not need to change anything. The calorie deficit is working. What you were doing in the gym is working. What you're doing with your steps and your sleep and your water, it's all working. You don't need to change anything. And that's how I want you to track your progress, because like I said, people will do the hard things, but when it comes to the boring stuff, I get it, it's boring. Taking your weight, writing it down, it's tedious, but you need to do it for motivation. It's a must. You have to do it. If we don't have motivation, if we don't notice this progress and notice us changing visually, or the scales coming down or our measurements coming down, we're not going to get anywhere with our goals because we don't get motivation from that. And the last point I wanted to go through with you all today is sustainability is everything. Yes, if you follow me on Instagram, you should know that I don't preach fat loss to be a lifestyle. I don't think fat loss is a long-term solution for people. People should see fat loss as the sprint start to their transformation. They want to get in and out the fat loss phase as quickly and as efficiently as they can. And the sooner we can get them onto a maintenance phase, onto a muscle building phase where calories are a lot higher, there's a lot more flexibility, the better. However, if you were sitting here right now, you've probably got 10, 15, 20 kilograms to lose until you're going to be at a point which you are happy to maintain forever. And that's not going to take you a couple of weeks. It's probably going to take you 6, 8, 10, 12 months. And I'm going to be honest with you, I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's what you fucking need to hear. There's only a certain speed in which our body can actually lose body fat. So sustainability is everything. Can you stick to this next week? Can you stick to this next month? Can you stick to this for the next 3 months? Can you stick to it when you've had a busy day at work, when stress is high and you're stressed out your mind and you've got all these things going on? Can you stick to it then? If the answer is yes, you're doing just fine. But if the answer is no, you need to change something. You need to make it as convenient as you can for yourself. So when life gets in the way, when it's parents' evening, when you've had a long day at work, when you've got social weekends, you need to make it as convenient as you can for yourself to stick to this. Otherwise, you're going to be constantly chasing your tail and sticking in that vicious cycle that you're already in. That is all you will need. If you want to create a successful transformation, if you want to complete your fat loss phase and be this the last time you ever have to lose body fat and you want to maintain it for life, they are the only points that I would follow. It's very fucking simple points, but people mistake simple with easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to test you. But guess what? You have to do it to get results. Like I said, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, because believe it or not, I have got your progress and your adherence and your consistency at my best interest. What have I got to lose? You know, I'll tell you how it is. I'll tell you what I've done to lose weight. I'll tell you what my clients have done to lose weight. The proof is in the pudding. I've made this fantastic progress. My clients are making this fantastic progress. So stick to them points and you will make some really good progress. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if you're wanting a bit more of a hands-on program where I'll tell you exactly what to do in the gym, exactly what you do with your nutrition, show you all the calculations, all that stuff, first link in the description is to my rapid fat loss guide where I'm going to show you the ins and outs and all of that. If you want more content like this on a daily basis, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I post, very simple, easy to implement stuff about fat loss and getting in shape over on my Instagram pretty much every single day. So make sure to get it on there. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today. Hope you took a lot of value away from this video and hopefully see you in the next one.